Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm Part 59, Movement and Moments. I'm not exactly sure what we did in the last episode of this one. I think we talked about codomain. We'll talk about that again. But just in math class, right, what's like the big motivations of mathematics, right? Do solutions exist? What are the specific solutions? Can we bound a solution, right? But in mathematics, it's a pretty big step if you have an open problem and they say, can you identify a form of a solution? Sensorality with an S, that's the big overall encompassing solution we've already identified. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like typically, right, if you said, here's what the form of the solution of the generalized Riemann hypothesis, that would be a publishable thing, that would be a big thing. And so I've been actively deriving for 5 years. I've completely integrated a concept with a linguistical element, speciality, again in 3 years, but profound torture. I'm being 100%, I've been abandoned by my species in any practical way. I do not have access to courts, I do not have access to social structures, I have zero networking capacity, literally at all. So again, I'm doing mathematics, but I am absolutely a motherfucking slave. But yeah, movement and moments, great moments in my life. Again, I literally cannot experience happiness because I've been pushed out of the species by people that are, again, profoundly immature, and they're also profoundly privileged. So that there's no way to get into the group of people at any point in time. I will be tortured until the day that I die because other people do not respect their own laws. Let's do some mathematics. But again, we talked about codomain not unique. So let's just break down, let's just start with the logical definitions. These are just, again, the same thing I do with the language translations, right? We have clear base, range. A synonym is close to a base, logically, semantically. So I'm just breaking down the words and again trying to find, right, sensorality is the range of the entire concept, but a form of the word and an undeniable one-way logical progression type of thing. Main is primary. Domain, expanse of territory, right? I just have a theorem, I meant to start with a theorem. The range of domain is territory. My domain is my territory. The extent of that territory is range. But main, primary. Domain, it sounds like do day from Portuguese, but clearly, again, domain, clearly separated by rhythm of pronunciation. But domain, right, just breaking down that word, expansive territory, codomain, again, not unique, right? This is the example they'll give you. Right here, we have a set of numbers, we have a defined function, f of x equals 2x plus 1, and then here's our output space. And then they say the total space of what the output could be is codomain, and then what it actually is range or image. But the way you define the function is going to limit the fucking range, which limits the codomain, and codomain is not real, it's not a thing. If codomain, there's no physical motivation to have a codomain anything. Linguistically, it's non-unique. And we've already talked about that, but again, this is just the example, and again, it's some trivial thing about how you define a function, but codomain, the better question would be, why does that emerge? Why do mathematicians, what don't they know to say this is something, and it's definitely not. I don't know. Again, I'm talking to myself. You people aren't going to fucking figure this shit out. You can't figure out how to raise your children. You can't figure out how to stop murdering your own citizens. You can't figure out how to feed yourselves, exercise properly, or just be basic, decent fucking people. You're sort of not going to do anything in scientific research. But right, with our example, they'll say range. The actual range is 3, 5, and 7 from our base of 1, 2, 3, and 4, our finite base, and our output space. But the output space is defined within the function, the operations that you give it. So, might be able to say something more about discreteness or continuity there, but codomain is nothing. Variant, just again, logical definition, logical synonyms. Variant, modification. Variance, the delta variant, right? I don't know, random biology, do I think there should be some pharmacological, virological limit to how far a variant can go off of its base virus in a given amount of time in a given amount of biological environment. pigs, animals, people. There should be could do some science there if I was again allowed to fucking do anything in my disgusting fucking life. And I'm being honest. Being Brad Boas is the most disgusting human experience that has basically ever fucking existed. If not ever existed, certainly on recorded history. But I can't get mad. I cannot show any emotion or all the pathetic fucks who, again, did not even raise their children to behave properly. All they did was teach them to chase orgasms and chase careers through sports. I deal with every bit of insecurity of this entire fucking species. And I have no personal respect for any of you fucking people. Literally fucking zero. My life will not get better. Variable. Capable of change. Right? And so we've asked, again, the physical motivations, the physical limitations of what can constitute a variable, right? A black body, something that can radiate, something that can exchange momentum, energy. Variance, the amount of change. I also have range. So is variance, right? Codomain's not a thing, but it's like, the set of codomains would be larger than the set of ranges if that was a real thing. But the amount of change, variance, logically strikes me the same thing as range and as codomain. And covariance, this is another term, or that's like variance, domain, codomain, variance, covariance. But covariance has a distinct logical definition to me, correlation. But, so again, it's still not unique. You would not need to say covariance at any point in time. You just say correlation. So that's really the structured math I want to do. And again, I'm not like this isn't me ranting or anything. These are actually the thoughts that go through my head. When you discover something, and especially intellectually, like mathematically, logically, it's one of the most rewarding things that could exist. And then when you get shunned for it, when you get kicked out of social groups, when you can't collect your property, the solutions to the clay math problems have been posted for 2 straight years. It's my property. It's failure to deliver a contract. But what? If I don't pay my rent, my landlord just sends something to the collections and I get fucked. Some corporation doesn't pay out their own fucking public contract, my family just gets fucked anyway. Americans are fucking disgusting, and humanity is fucking disgusting. To any fucking trashy Elon Musk, Richard Branson, go fucking Kobe Bryant yourself into a goddamn building. Right? Kobe Bryant did the Twin Towers. Right? That's a logical analogy. You guys heard what I meant. George Bush, Kobe Bryant did the Twin Towers. Kobe, thud. Let's do some logical derivation now. So that's that first part again, besides me telling you to go fuck yourself, I really was just trying to focus on, again, codomain, range, and variance. Codomain doesn't strike me as anything. Variance and range strikes me as about the same, logically, and as domain, right? The range of domain is territory. And biologically, primitively, that makes a lot of sense. But now what I'm going to do is, again, just get back to sensorality with an S, or again, just the sound, sensorality, and differentiate. We made the differentiation, right? Sensorality with an S, life, living things, sentience. Sensorality with a C, sensors, right? So that's the context we're in now. Sensorality is a special sensor. Sensorality with an S, sensor with a C, right? Life is more efficient to detect things, to make measurements, to collect data. Life is special. Special is precious. Life is precious. Fundamental analogy. People say that all the time. This is literally the form you were working in the context of sensorality if you've ever thought or agreed with the simple term, life is precious. Fundamental analogy. Sensor with a C is inanimate. Sensor with an S is animate. Right? Inanimate, we use that clear definition. Animate, clearly the non-negated form of inanimate, but animated, right? Sensorality is animated. And the inanimate versus animate gives us a definition of the negative. And again, over an email, that was a very big break for me logically. You don't have to build all the logical context, all that stuff. Sensorality is animated. This is sensorality with an S. Sensorality, and it should be clear, again. My marker is not animated. I'm animated. Sensorality is animation. Animation translate emotion. Sensors with a C, automate. Sensors with an S, animate. Annotation, connotation. And then the opposite of connotation they have is denotation. But denotation I don't think is a word either. Denote, to define, to designate, but linguistically, right, that's a false use of the empirical value function, right? And you see this a lot. People say, they'll try to say not something or unsomething, or like there's a commercial right now about like mental health and it's like, that's unhelpful or unsomething. But you viscerally perceive when people use on like the prefix to negate something incorrectly. And so denotation just strikes me as like unnotating something. So denotation would be, again, literally wrong in its logical definition. To denote is to designate, but denotation would be to unnotation. Just logical nuance. Connotation is semantic. Sensorality is semantic. Synonyms are semantic. Synonyms are similar. Antonyms are oppositional. Right? In context with our base and range, what kind of else can we say? Resistance is oppositional. Back to physics. Tension is resistance. What is the relationship of tension and suspension? Sensorality senses suspense. Suspense regulates expectation. Prediction is expectation. Sound is prediction. Pre-diction. Right? Sound is before diction, words. Diction requires friction. Literally. Movement creates sound. If you can't have friction, you don't move. Movement requires friction. Predilection is special. Now getting back into speciality again. Moments are special. I'm having a moment. Oh, tears welled up. I was watching just some random movie and an emotional point came on and I'm a human being. Moments are special. Started welling up. Started thinking about my lovely day and my lovely life and I'm just having a moment. Sensorality is sentimental. Sensorality is emotional. Sensorality with a C is not. True. There's no emotions to my notepad. I'm abusing my notepad, it's not getting emotional. Sensorality with an S is emotionality. Emotions are the base of vibes. Good vibes only, bro. Emotionality, vibrationality. Sensorality senses vibrationality. Vibrationality produces frequency, right? Movement requires friction. My thing is vibrating because of the 3 dimensions. Other objects exert gravitational force. It produces a frequency. True. Sensorality senses rationality. Listen to a conversation, you're determining the rationality. It's efficient. Sensorality, life, us. Rationality is reasonable. And again, like I said, not at the final definition or the final one-way logical progression of proof or whatever the fuck I did the first time with speciality like 5 fucking years ago. My life is disgusting. I'm being tortured. I have $12 million. Again, failure to deliver, pure crime. But America's built on crime. That's all this fucking country is dirty fucking people that are willing to fucking murder you and then just lie about it. So thank you for watching From Rhythm to Algorithm, part 59, movement and moments. And if I live one single day of my life before the age of 30, I will be fucking surprised. Thanks for watching.